Your testimony isn't just your story, it's someone else's survival guide. Welcome to Behind the Song, the conversation that gives you one story about one moment in one song. Not a life story, not an album thesis, just one moment that changed how this song exists. Today, I get to sit and talk with the lovely Jadi Torres about her song Desahogo and how her lived experience became the story for this song. First, Jadi, thank you for joining us here on Behind the Song. Tell me, what's the one moment that this song came from?
There's so many different pieces of this song that make it what it is and what it means for me and what I hoped when I wrote it that it would mean for other people going through a similar situation. The main part of the song that I felt like made it was how many times I cried while going through this situation, how much I cried while going through this situation. The song is basically speaking about my process of going through a divorce, which is something that I don't really speak about often, but when spoken about or when I am put in the place to speak about it, I openly speak about it because I feel like it's a testimony and not a trial.
Love it. Through her lived experience, Jadi allowed her pen to craft a song that birthed from grief and necessary for her healing. So it's obvious that when you listen to Desahogo, there is real pain. Here's a lyric I would love to unpack. I'm going to say it in English. I could have easily been down in my own tears. I would love for you to just unpack that lyric for me and tell me what that actually means for you within the context of the song.
Of course. So through writing this song, and I actually wrote this song very quickly, but through the process of it, as I wrote the song, or through the process of the story, when it came down to writing the song, it made me think a lot about the whole process that I was going through. And it's very similar to you detailing a story. And once you start thinking of it and you kind of sit in that moment for a while, you think about how often you cried through the situation or how it hurt you or how sad it was. And that line is basically saying that, like, if I would have grouped all the tears that I cried through the season that I was in, I could have easily drowned in my own tears.
Oof. That is a powerful lyric. And I'm glad I actually had an opportunity to really unpack that with you. You connected this song to 1 Thessalonians 5:21. The King James Version of the scripture says, "Prove all things, hold fast that which is good." I love scripture that becomes part of songs. And I'm always interested in when people tell me about how these scriptures fit with songs. How does this scripture speak to this song specifically, and specifically for what you were dealing with and why you wrote it?
Well, I grew up in a belief system that shunned divorce and shunned anything that had to do with stepping away from a family for any reason other than immorality or, I mean, we know the stories, right? But for me, why I gravitated towards 1 Thessalonians, and I would say even 5 as a whole, the whole 5th chapter as a whole. Paul is speaking into what is true, what is good. Hold on to those things. And I genuinely believe and wholeheartedly believe that if there's something that's keeping me from God or deteriorating my relationship with God, that's not good. My truth is I am going to hold on to what is good. And that is the reason behind why I wrote the song. At the end of the day, I made a decision. And whether that decision could be looked at in a wrong way, a bad way, maybe for a lot of people still, even maybe while listening or seeing this behind the songs, they would say, well, no, it's wrong. But when you I would love for people to focus on this. Anything that keeps you or distracts you or alienates you. I mean, there's so many different words that I could fit into that. Anything that keeps you from God is not good. And at the end of the day, I made the decision that was best for me and my relationship with God.
Wow. Powerful. Powerful. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Listen, if you haven't heard Desahogo, check it out on all streaming platforms. Next week, your voice, your intervals, your instincts, they form a melodic identity as unique as a fingerprint. I talk with Latin artist Don Rico on episode 4, Finding Your Melodic Fingerprint. Want to go even deeper with Behind the Song? Hit that subscribe button and check us out on High Note for the full annotated version. See you next Tuesday.